Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'll be teaching you the best builds to beat the new Nightmare IMPERIOR raid. So this is honestly one of the most difficult raids the game has ever released. I've tried finding like the best builds I can think of. It is difficult. However, there are some standout Loomians that work especially well against IMPERIOR. So I've just covered the best builds that I can find, and I'll be going over them in today's video. So let's just get straight into it. Here are the 5 builds that we'll be demonstrating. So importantly, have a square 1 user. Plasmoth is going to be our square 1 user of choice. Has the heavy shield, it has clever, nimble, very frail. We also have you'll notice the speed tiering is specifically 150. And this is because the IMPERIOR boss has a speed stat of 148, I believe. So you'll notice here, Solnecta is 149, 1 point enough to outspeed the IMPERIOR. The Terrafly here is 149, enough to outspeed the IMPERIOR. And these two are slower, but they're for their own reasons. We'll go over them in a little bit. Let's just go over the Plasmoth. We have Pestilence, Energize, Rejuvenate, Square 1. Square 1's just a must because the IMPERIOR loves to like deal a bunch of damage with its stat buffs, especially if it gets like +2 magical attack, or not magical attack, why am I thinking Doodle World? I mean +2 range attack. Then things can get quickly out of hand because even with like resist, it's going to be doing a ton of damage. So we always need a square 1 user. Plasmoth is able to outspeed the IMPERIOR, and unlike Dyborg, it can actually do damage back with Pestilence and Energize. So Energize is also here to just take attacks as well, but also increase their damage with Pestilence. And then we also just have Rejuvenate as a healing move to help stall out the Pestilence turns, and Heavy Shield to help tank more attacks. And yeah, here's the spread: 200 health, 200 range defense, 96 range attack, and 4 energy. So we'll also have, we have 2 different like other pairings. So we have Harvesect and Florant, and then Terrafly and Sneaka. We'll go over Harvesect, Florant first, because honestly, I think these are the 2 best Loomians for the raid. Specifically, Harvesect I think is the best option, and that's because it gets Brawn Boost and Parasitize as well as Counterpoise. It also gets a Life Force, so that means Power Cuffs actually boost their damage without costing any of our energy. And IMPERIOR barely has any coverage for this thing. The only thing it has that can actually hit Harvesect is Primal Slash, which even Primal Slash can't even hit this thing for like, I'd say 40%. That's the most it can hit it for. And with the investment we have here, we can actually live a +4 Primal Slash from full HP. And 100 melee attacks just to deal as much damage as possible. We have no investment to energy just because we don't have an energy stat. We also have Pester here, kind of as a filler move, but also mainly to lower the range attack and allow us to get more Brawn boosts up, which it can be really helpful utility, especially for chipping down health bars, because we can't just brute force through the health bars. It's like 1 at a time. And we have Florant here, not only as a soul burst option, but as a really good parasitize user. It can also set up with Tamp to help tank attacks, and then it has Take Root to heal every turn. Basically just a free health amulet. And then we also have Pestilence to trap the target for just to deal chip damage to IMPERIOR. And most of the time we're going to be clicking these 3 moves. This only needs to be clicked once, and then we just alternate between these 2 as well as resting. And we have the training points: 200 health, 200 melee attack, 80 melee defense, and 20 energy. And next we'll go over Terrafly and Sneaka. So Sneaka particularly has a really good ability for this raid in Nightlight. So not only Sneaka first of all takes neutral from dark moves, but while it's on the field, Shadow Pulse, which is IMPERIOR's strongest dark move, is reduced by 25%, which is very important for keeping Sneaka alive. For this set, we're running the Health Amulet, we're running Magnify, Pester, Luster Loot, and Ferroblast. Pester is just here to lower the range attack. IMPERIOR is mostly a range attacker, with the exception of a few moves like the most recently introduced, I believe, I don't even remember the name. Well, it's basically just a Mega Horn equivalent. That's one of its melee moves, but it's mostly just a ranged attacker. You also just have Blast for damage, Luster Loop for healing. This is just utility, and Magnify to set up. I have to actually go over the training points. So we're running 200 range attack, 200 speed, 76 energy, and 24 health. And yeah, that's the Solnecta set. And lastly, we're gonna go over Terrafly. The ability is completely worthless on Terrafly here. It really does not matter what ability you run. None of them are gonna help you in this raid, other than maybe Hotfoot, which I don't even think is that optimal, because you just naturally outspeed it. But yeah, our moveset is Parasitize, Double Sting, Pestilence, Drudge. You're only really going to be clicking Parasitize and Drudge, but Pestilence and Double Sting are just there as alternative options. And yeah, we're running 200 melee attack, 72 range defense, 128 speed, 44 energy, and 56 health. So yeah, those are all the builds. I wanted to try and find 2 extra ones, but I really could not find any. This is just a super difficult raid, and honestly, it's better to just use the best options for this raid. So yeah, Harvesect is definitely the best option for this raid, but I have 3 other options here if you need to use them. And then we just have Plasmoth as probably the best square 1 user for this raid, because it's the only one that can actually not only tank attacks, but also just threaten back with Pestilence. And yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.